All right, this is the review mastery check for Unit 9, which is on surface area of prisms and rectangular prisms and cylinders. So when we're finding surface area, you need to remember what surface area is. Surface area is just the space that the outside of an object takes up. So the way I like to think about it is the amount of paper it would take to cover the outside of an object. And we can find that area by just taking the area of the shape and dividing it into areas that we, or into pieces that we can find the area of. So when I'm finding the surface area of this box right here, I can divide it into the top of the box, which is a rectangle, the bottom of the box, which is also a rectangle, the front, the back, the left side, and the right side, which are all rectangles, and then I can find each area and add those together. So if I look at the top of this box, it's a rectangle that's 2 by 3, so its area is 6. I know that the bottom of the box has the same area as the top. They're the exact same shape, and if you think about a box, you'll know that that's true. So that area is 6 as well. The front of the box is 10 centimeters high. I see that right here. And it's 3 centimeters long. I can see that because this length is labeled as 3 centimeters. So I have 30 as my area for the front and the back. And then the left side, I've got a height of 10, and this distance you can see is the same as this distance. So that's 10 by 2, which is 20. And to find the total surface area, I just add those all together. So I've got 30 plus 30 plus 20 plus 20. So that gives me 100 plus 6 and 6 is 112 square centimeters. Okay, over here for this box, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to divide it into the rectangles that are the top, the bottom, the front, the back, and the left and right sides. And it doesn't really matter what you call the top, what you call the front, as long as you know what you're talking about. This is just a way to make sure that you get all 6 sides of the box. So looking at the top of the box, I've got a rectangle that's 5 by 8, so its area is 40. Same for the bottom. The front, I could call this the front. The height is 1, I see that labeled right back there, and the length is labeled right back here, which is 5. So 1 times 5 is 5 for the front and the back. I know they're the same. The left side here is 1 by that distance is 8. So then I add those all together, and I get 86 centimeters squared. All right, when I find the surface area of a cylinder, I'm going to do a similar sort of thing where I break the surface into shapes that I know. So if I think about like this, like a can, I could think about the top of the can, the bottom of the can, and then the label of the can. So this piece that when I unwrap it from the can will be a rectangle. Well, the area of a circle we know is pi r squared for the area of a circle. So my radius here, r, is 4. And 4 squared means 4 times 4, so that's going to be 16 times pi for the area of the top of my can, which is the same as the area of the bottom. And then the label, it says right here, 6 inches high. The length of the label, remember the label wraps around the can, so the length is actually the circumference of the circle, which is diameter times pi. Diameter goes all the way across the can, so that's 4 plus 4, so that's 8 pi. So that means the area of my label will be 6 times 8, or 48 pi. Then to find the total surface area, I'm going to add those 3 pieces together. So 16 plus 16 plus 48. So that's going to give me 20. And then I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 80 inches squared. I'm sorry, 80 pi, because I had pi all right here. Let me erase that. 80 pi inches squared. And the problem did ask us to leave our answer in terms of pi. That just means we can leave that symbol in there, which stands for 3.14, instead of actually multiplying 80 by 3.14. All right, number 2 says to calculate the surface area of the cylinder. This time we're going to use 3.14 for pi. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to break it into the top, the bottom, and the rectangular label. The area of my circle is pi times radius squared. Sorry, that's a pi. So the radius of my circle is 2. So 2 squared means 2 times itself, which is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And so I have 4 pi for the area of the top and the bottom. Now notice that even though it says use 3.14 for pi, meaning replace pi with that number, I'm going to wait till the very end to do that. It makes it a little bit easier. On my label, I have a height of 6. It's given to me right there. And then my length, remember, is the distance around the circle because the label wraps around. So the circumference is diameter times pi. Diameter goes all the way across, so it's 2 plus another 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4, so I've got 4 pi for my length of that rectangle. Multiply those together and I get 24 pi. Now just like I did over here, I'm going to add those pieces together. So I have 4 plus 24, and that's going to give me 32 pi. This question asks us to use 3.14 for pi, so we need to actually multiply 32 times 3.14, just replacing the symbol with the number that it's equal to. And when I do that, I get 100.48. And then your units are squared. And sorry about that mistake with the centimeters and inches. You can choose which one. 100.48 centimeters squared.